And you have just crossed the line. End of debate. Report to the cargo bay and remain there until this is over. Is that understood?
If you're going to accuse me, darling, of being a whore,
I'm wearing pants for you guys, by the way.
Just for us?
Oh.
Just for you guys.
Pourquoi?
Just us.
I don't know, because I think it freaks you out, and I'm serving body.
You're serving body. What freaks us out, bitch?
I'm serving body oddly.
Oh, you mean you're serving? You freak us out when you're Porky Pigging it.
I freak you out when I'm Porky Pigging it. I want to say that I just to cheer myself up because I've been kind of down.
You know we're recording, right? Do you want the world to know you've been down?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay,
I don't mind.
great.
I've been down.
World, she's been down.
So to cheer myself up, I got.
Oh my God, the ambiguous gay dude.
This is the ambiguously gay duo, and then this is his lover, Gary.
Good God.
Oh my God. I can't believe they sell that.
Well,
it's fabulous.
They are fabulous. Let me ask you this. Does it make you feel less down?
It made me feel a little bit less down.
Good.
I'm going to get a hammer and put them up later.
Mama, it hasn't come to that. Oh, you mean?
Well, no. I'm running out of space. I don't have any more shelf space.
You're not putting laundry in.
For collectibles. No, now I'm just going to have to hang them up. And I also
got
a fembot. If you want an education. Oh my God, the fembot is so fierce. Anyway, this has nothing to do with Star Trek. By the way, Booby, I love you. It's good to see you. Michael, I love you. It's good to see you.
It's good to see both of you.
Good to see you.
Oh my God, Superman and Batman are in attendance.
Oh, look at you two.
Look at that.
Hey, DC. I'm more of a Marvel girl myself.
You're more AC/DC.
I am, darling. You know, I'm not Porky Pigging it, but I'm Petunia Pigging it. Y'all can't see. But basically, I'm sitting my naked ass on a frying pan and it smells like bacon in here. That's called
underwear.
Petunia Pigging it, y'all.
That can't be kosher.
Hello.
Oh, darling, it's turkey. It's turkey bacon. Yeah.
Oh, just
okay. Yeah. Now, before we kick off, hello. Welcome to Fire Chakotay. I am Mike Diamond.
This is Miss Matinga.
And this is Booby.
Before we dive into this episode of Fire Chakotay, the most essential Star Trek podcast in the quadrant, or any quadrant, actually, I have one thing to say to you guys. Wagon Wheel Watusi.
Hello. Isn't that a Batman reference?
That's Cher, darling, from Burlesque.
Oh, because Batman is Batusi.
Wagon Wheel Watusi.
Yeah, Miss Honey, is burlesque worth watching?
Oh yes.
I haven't seen it.
Neither have I. I've seen Showgirls many times.
And Xtina Aguilera.
And Xtina.
Wagon Wheel Watusi.
And like Piper Paraboo or somebody kind of obscure.
Or Piper Laurie or.
Piper Laurie.
Yeah. They're all gonna laugh at you. Wagon Wheel Watusi.
Wagon Wheel Watusi, and then you just.
Yeah, Sissy Spacek, honey, doing her striptease. But listen, Burlesque, definitely you guys should watch it. It's like Cher in puppet form. It's amazing.
Oh,
it's
I love it.
Terrible movie.
I went to see Cher in concert last year. It was Cher and It was Cher. It was puppetry of the Cher.
Thunderbirds are go, darling.
Yeah. I sent you two guys a list of movies just now of kick-ass karate movies, martial arts flicks that have all female leads. And it's a list of the best ones, and I think that we should review 14 Amazons.
14 Amazons.
Yeah.
You sounds like my name, my autobiography.
Hello.
Not that has anything to do with
Star Trek Voyager.
And you know what, Matinga? It's a perfect time for me to teach you how to edit.
How to edit? Edit what? Edit my emotions?
Edit anything, bitch. Because if you think I'm sitting down and trying to put together some piece, we talk about Chinese bitches flopping around. No, bitch. Editing is so hard.
Editing is hard.
And when we bring a movie into it, it's extra hard.
Yes.
Y'all don't even know what I'm going through with what we shot.
I can imagine.
Yesterday.
I can imagine.
You are going through it.
Ooh,
damn it, my internet access.
Oh no.
But you're there though, Booby. Like I see you.
I
And
see
it's
you
not,
and I hear you.
And I hear you. And
Yeah,
it's
but
not
both of you
up.
guys are freezing, and
Miss Thing, Miss
Chiclet
Booby.
is talking like this.
Miss Booby, do you want to log off and log back in?
And log back in?
Can I do that? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You log yourself out. Matinka and I's going to talk. You do that, okay? Now she is frozen. Matinka, you seeing this?
Or is she just very still?
Oh, darling, she's always been never liked her. I
knew
liked Miss Booby.
I want to say that this shirt is making a second appearance because we are in isolation and, I'm only doing laundry every 3 weeks.
You know, darling, this is an audio podcast, so if you hadn't have said that, nobody would have known.
No, but the patrons can see,
Darling, we've already got that coin, darling.
Plus,
and
I love how it gives me body. Give me body.
Oh, and thank you, patrons, since you are watching this. Thank you so much for your support.
And actually, to everybody out there, I read a story about how there's this weird metric in YouTube that is unsubscribing people from their subscriptions. So check to see if you subscribe to us. Check to see if you were unsubscribed and resubscribe. There's this weird thing happening lately. I think it has something to do with the pandemic, maybe, but you may have been unsubscribed.
It was happening before, and you're absolutely right, because I noticed, I'm not really one to go in and check out numbers and things. Oh, there's Miss Booby. Hold up, we'll let her back in. And let's see how it goes. As she teleports in.
You were very, is that all there is?
Is that all there is? Is that all there is? Oh.
Actually, my favorite song of Peggy Lee's is Gone Fishing.
I like Black Coffee.
Black Coffee is also quite good. I like the version of Black Coffee by Katie Lang.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Speaking of Black Coffee, Miss Booby, you back with us?
How you doing?
Yes,
how you feeling?
With cream.
With cream, okay.
Black coffee and cream. No sugar, no cream.
Hello. Before we jump in, let me just say that Booby, Matinga was talking about people being involuntarily unsubscribed from YouTube, and I'm not one to check numbers, but I did happen to go in the dashboard on YouTube yesterday, the day before. Our views were way up, but we lost subscribers. That doesn't make any sense. Like in the last 28 days, that makes no sense.
Yeah, there's a thing going around where people are where arbitrarily YouTube is unsubscribing. It's probably a bot of some kind that they have, is unsubscribing people from their subscriptions. So if you subscribe to us, check to see that you are still subscribed. And if you aren't, resubscribe and of course hit that bell icon because we don't want to lose you.
We don't want to lose you. We don't want to lose your love. We don't want to lose your love.
Don't want to lose your love.
Yes.
Don't want to lose your love.
Ooh,
welcome once again.
That's a stripper tune right there.
Are you talking about the original or the B&GB?
I like the B&GB.
You, okay?
Yeah.
You're not trying to play. And wasn't she
the original?
The original
Emotions.
Was it the Emotions?
The Emotions.
Right, the Emotions. Yes. But B&GB was the protege of MC Hammer, right?
Oh, really?
Right? Wasn't that true? Wasn't that correct? Y'all was around in the 90s.
It would seem that it worked out for both of them.
Yeah, they're still on top of a trash heap somewhere. So welcome once again to another episode of Fire Chakotay. I am Mike Diamond.
And this is Miss Matinga.
And of course, Booby.
And of course, Booby is here. And we are deep in the crotch of season 3 of Star Trek Voyager. And today we're doing a double. We're going to pull a double today, ain't we, y'all?
A double, and it's actually Miss Booby's choice.
Miss Booby's choice. So, girl, line it up, tee it up, hit it off. Let's go.
What's the title of the episode, by the way? Is it called?
You never disappoint, Booby. You never disappoint.
I know.
And by the way, I want to say it's not just Miss Booby, like you said. Booby, you are an integral part of this podcast and this family.
Thank you.
And it's not just Booby, and the star, Miss Booby.
Yes, it'd be great if she could remember the title.
It's called Future's End.
Future's End.
Parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was like a movie. I watched them both this morning.
A movie.
Yeah, I watched them both this morning, and it was like, oh, that felt like a movie, like a Voyager movie.
I did too.
Yeah.
So I'll give a brief synopsis, and then we can dive right in. Voyager be carrying on the way Voyager do, And then boof, bam, boom, it's 1996. Shit's going down. There's space-time continuum drama. And then, hello, it happens. Take it, guys.
But listen, just for clarity, I want to say that this aired on November 6th of 1996. It was a season 3. It was episodes 8 and 9, the 50th and 51st episodes of Star Trek Voyager. Special guests for this two-parter, Ed Begley Jr. and Sarah Silverman.
Looking timeless.
Looking timeless. And giving a good and yet at the same time so acting performance. And just a tighter essay on what the show is about. Voyager.
But can you do it without notes, bitch? I see you looking down at something you wrote on the back of a paper plate, no doubt.
No, today it's on a on the
paper.
But can you do it sans notes, darling? They want something organic here. They don't want us to be fucking Rhodes Scholars on Wikipedia.
Voyager has committed some type of temporal incursion, which causes a massive destruction of the entire Earth system in the 29th century. So a time ship is sent back to destroy Voyager because their debris is found to be part of this this horrible occurrence that happens. While this is happening, they are drawn into some kind of temporal rift and brought back to the year 1996 and brought back to Earth. All of them in some pretty lame leisure outwear.
So they're in the right place at the wrong time.
Right place at the wrong time.
Booby, how does the episode kick off?
It kicks off with the captain practicing her tennis swings in her office, and Tuvok giving her some lessons.
Wait, doesn't it start off in the woods with the hippie?
Oh, that's right. It does. It starts off with Ed Begley Jr.'s character,
but not in the 90s.
Camping in the woods in 1967.
Yeah,
and he's all about the camping, and he's got a tattoo on his arm which designates that it's her.
Looking like the oldest hippie ever.
He's a hippie down.
Oldest hippie, and something crashes, and he goes to investigate it. That's all we know. We don't know any further than that.
And we're gonna assume that this character that Ed Begley, the oldest looking hippie ever, was playing, was probably tripping on peyote or mushrooms or LSD. So she's like, "Go ask Alice. I just saw something crash."
He plays Henry Starling.
And then we're on Voyager, and Miss Janeway is getting read to filth by Tuvok about her tennis game.
I was just practicing my serve.
Your serve?
Tennis. After 19 years, I've decided to take it up again. I'm a little rusty. I played in a novice tournament on the holodeck. I lost my first match in straight sets.
Perhaps if you maintained eye contact with the ball at the apex of its trajectory, your serve would be more effective.
You play tennis?
Simple physics, Captain.
Not as simple as when I played on the high school tennis team.
Yes. Right. Rocking a very cute gold sort of pin in the back of her bouffant for the entire episode. And it's quite cute.
Yes. So as you said before, they are approached by someone from the time police. What are they called?
The 29th century. It's a Federation time ship, Captain Braxton.
So Captain Tony Braxton appears on their view screen and is like, "Don't break my heart."
Yeah. And he's trying to destroy them.
7 whole days.
And not a word from you. And not a word from Boo.
Oh, and then Tamar shows up and she's like, "What's going on here?"
She's like, "Why don't I have a career? What the hell?"
Yeah.
So I'm fierce too.
I look just like you.
I look just like you. I sound just like you. That's why I don't have a career. Oh, wait a minute. I just solved it myself. Bye.
7 old gays.
7 old gays. And one's a Jew.
Yes. So Miss Braxton tells them, Miss Tony Braxton tells them, something that you did or Voyager did causes this big disaster in the future. So I came back 500 years to fuck y'all up.
To kill y'all.
To kill y'all. And somehow both ships get sucked into this time rift madness. But as it turns out, Braxton got sent back a little bit further.
Right.
The Voyager's gagging, and suddenly there's Earth. and they're all gagging like, "Yo, it's Earth.
We home.
We home," but they're picking up radio signals, TV
Right.
signals,
EMF signals.
And it's like trying to give you shades of Star Trek: The Voyage Home.
Voyage home. Yeah.
Very that.
Very that.
Yeah.
You know, fish out of time.
Fish out of time, people out of water.
That's a mixed metaphor.
Yes. Like a fish out of time. Sometimes I feel like a fish out of time.
Sometimes I don't. Doom, 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 doom.
Sometimes I don't. Boom, 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 boom. So there they are. They're like a fish out of time, but they also pick up a signature. Tachyon? Is it tachyon that they pick up?
It's not a tachyon. It's something else. But some type of temporal signature that should not be there.
Which makes them decide that they have to go down to the planet because they think they can find Tony Braxton's ship and stop him from destroying them, and also maybe get home. They need to get back to their century.
And the reason they're not teleporting, the reason they're not using the transporter is the ship has suffered in this
damage.
It has suffered damage. So the weapon systems are down, the transporter's down, quite a few systems are down. So that's why they send an away team down. But I always find it sort of interesting that you are sending in this away team the most important people on the ship. Like, wouldn't you send like a couple red shirts to get killed?
Hogan.
Like, yeah, send Hogan,
Oh,
man.
Hogan dead. What am I saying?
Yeah, or send Ensign Boric and somebody like that. The chick, with the Bajoran chick. Oh no, she's
Neelix.
Send Neelix.
And Cass.
They'll just think he's a dog.
So Janeway goes because of course she's curious.
Yes.
How could she not?
Janeway, Tuvok, Tom Paris,
Chakotay,
and
right?
Chakotay.
And they, I don't know where exactly they came up with their 1990s outfits, but have you
really something very 80s?
But have you noticed that Catherine loves her white suits?
Well, she's looking like the night manager at a J.C. Penney's in Cleveland. Okay.
Very that, but I love Robert Beltran with his hair combed forward.
Doesn't he look good?
He looks so good, and it also makes me feel that maybe he's wearing a wig because his hair's so.
In that scene?
No, on every other scene on Voyager.
I don't
with the hair, or do you think the hair's just combed back?
I think it's just combed back.
I think
he's got good hair.
He's got that good Indian hair,
he's
darling.
got that good hair.
Because you've seen him now, and his hair is all white but gorgeous.
Wonderful, yeah. But I love him with the hair. He actually looks handsome, and you notice that he won't leave Catherine's side.
Nope.
He's all like, "Oh no, I'm with you."
Well, because
Tom is wearing those cheesy flare.
Dad
pants.
High-waisted.
They're terrible.
High-waisted.
Unflattering. And kind of like a loose short sleeve button down shirt over a wife beater.
And then
Tuvok's wearing a do-rag.
A do-rag. That's it. You know what? Black Lives Matter, bro. That's not like a do-rag.
But I guess they didn't matter in 1996 because, honey, he's looking like an extra from Set It Off.
Very bad. Yeah. Tom is like, honey, we're at Venice Beach. I'm going to enjoy the sun a little bit. I'm sorry.
We
might be on a mission.
All pale.
Well, he's living on a starship. And also, Kim is in charge of the ship, which is kind of cute. Like, he has some cute moments.
Which is kind of stupid. But they beam down to what I guess is the Santa Monica Pier?
Yes.
And
it's not Venice Beach.
No, it's Santa Monica.
It's supposed to be L.A.
Well, it is LA.
It is LA.
You see the Ferris wheel in the back at some point. So they beam down to Santa Monica in 1996, and we are treated to some visuals of what is supposed to be crazy late 20th century people.
Yes.
On rollerblades with tattoos and
mohawks.
In thongs and with pit bulls and I don't even know.
Punk rockers.
I don't even know. And I'm like, and the crew is, Chakotay in particular, is kind of gagging at them. And I'm like, you guys have seen Vidians. Why are you going to be upset about an asymmetrical shroom hairdo?
Yeah. But Tom is like, I will stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll totally stay.
Mm-hmm. So it's LA in the 90s. There they are. Janeway's got her little flip phone tricorder. And they're in communication with the ship. And they're trying to track down this piece of technology in LA. What happens?
So they, back on Voyager, Voyager detects a signal coming from Earth, a greeting. And what it is the Sarah Silverman character is working at the Griffith Observatory.
Yes.
And she is working on some type of SETI extraterrestrial life project, and
But she's a slacker.
But she's also kind of a slacker.
Because she's got her feet on the desk.
Yes, but she's kind of fierce.
She's got her feet on the desk, and she's got like pizza
and posters for horror movies up, and a chick that I'd hang out with.
Right.
You know, for horror movies and stuff like that. She detects the presence of a signal, so she sends out this message. Shit, they've been detected. So Harry.
Well, hold on. Wait. She notices Voyager in orbit, and first she calls Ed Begley Jr.
Ed Begley, the Starling character, yeah.
Starling, who now, 30 years after being a hippie in the woods, is the head of some gigantic thing called ChromaWorks.
Almost trying to giving you like
Bill Gates,
like a Bill Gates kind of feeling.
He's like the original tech bro,
right?
Super rich, kind of arrogant, obnoxious. So she clearly has been told, if you see a signal of this type, you let me know. So she lets him know.
And that's why he's funding the project.
Right. He's funding the project because he's super rich. And he says, don't do anything. Don't do anything.
Nada.
And I'm going to deal with it. And being the mid-90s slacker that she is and all jazzed up on pizza, she sends the basic, Earth greeting that SETI would send. And Voyager picks it up. And they're like, oh, shit, we busted.
Oh, what the hell? Anyone up there?
Sir, I'm picking up an EM signal from the planet's surface.
Greetings from the people of Earth. Saludos de los habitantes de la Tierra. Привет от народа мира.
Shall I respond, sir?
Absolutely not.
Them being noticed is interfering with the temporal prime directive. Like you could mess up the time stream. So the captain sends Paris and Tuvok on a side mission to go figure out how much they know, what's been detected, and put the kibosh on it, while she continues, and her and Robert Beltran continue to try and figure out what the hell's going on.
While they're still down there in Santa Monica, they see this crazy ass homeless
man.
Yes.
Putting up signs about the end of the world.
It turns out to be Toni Braxton.
Yeah.
Because she went bankrupt.
Correct. Looking like a dirty old white man.
Dirty.
Which is kind of what she looks like at this point.
A little bit. So he has the little piece of whatever that was sending out the signal. And that's how they track him down. But he's like kind of like living in a hollowed out car. He's been on the street for years and years. People think he's schizophrenic because he's like, the aliens are coming, destruction is coming, this, that, and the other. People we've all seen.
It's been rough on him.
It's been rough.
He's been institutionalized.
Yeah, and drugged. It's been rough.
So when Janeway and Chakotay come up on him, he recognizes them, which kind of stuns them. And then they figure out, oh shit, this is Tamar Braxton. And they have a little conversation, and then the police show up. Okay. And I have to say that it looks like the police are about to cart him off to a psych ward, and Janeway says nothing.
She might as well have done this. Like, like
she's like, I don't, in her face is saying, officer, he must be nuts. I'm just
totally gives him up.
At JCPenney's.
And that, but she has a mission, you think that he's crazy. And yes, at this point, he's gone a little bit crazy, but he recognizes the captain and gives the captain the name of Henry Starling, the person who found his time ship, and the details that she requires to the next step in this mission.
Schematics.
And, he has certain schematics. And then she gives him up to the popo.
Right.
And she's like, we'll get back to him later. Right. I need a latte.
I need a latte. And then there's like the lady
can pie.
Yeah. And then they dash. Meanwhile, MC Hammer and Pale Ass Tom go to Griffith Observatory. By the way,
Correct.
Great use of LA locations. So they find their way into Sarah Silverman's office while she's not there, and Paris immediately starts futzing with things. And Chakotay, Tuvok is like, no, we got to stay on mission. Stop messing things up. And while they're figuring out exactly what it is that Sarah Silverman and those people know and what they've done, here she comes with a big box of pizza.
Yeah. She's like, what are you guys doing in my office? La, 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 la.
Mm-hmm.
Do not enter. Hello, read the sign.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Tom, I guess, is being a little cash about it. Tuvok, I love the way he, refers to Paris as Tom. It's the only time you ever hear him say Tom.
Let me guess, you minored in B movies.
Something like that. Pardon me, Tom. We should be going. Our friends are waiting for us.
Trying to keep it, Earth natural.
He's trying to be casual, but he just doesn't have the skill set.
And why didn't Sarah Silverman just call security?
Right.
Because
there's two strange men. Well, they did say, hey, we were on a tour and we got lost, so maybe she just believes them.
Right.
And clearly, Tom is a cutie pie, and she's like, let me talk to this cutie pie for a second.
Right. And Sarah Silverman looking real cute.
Yeah.
Real young, real 90s.
Young, but new in her career.
Like super new, super young.
New.
And her character.
Was she a stand-up comedian at this point?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how she started.
So she's playing Rain Robinson.
Yes.
Rain Robinson.
And like you said earlier, Matinga, it's kind of a love it or hate it character. I kind of love it because she is giving you outsider perspective, but I kind of hate it because they wrote it like she's an idiot Valley girl.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes,
she's a scientist.
And she does have some what's the word I'm looking for? Some
chutzpah?
She's got chutzpah and she's got brains, and the way she's playing it, she's playing it kind of stupid, but you can feel that under the surface she knows what's going on and she's going along with it because she helps
something's up.
She knows something's up, and by the end, even though they've given her none of the details, of course, she's figured it all out.
Mm-hmm.
She's figured it all out, and maybe as a scientist, she knows not to ask dangerous questions.
That's a deep reading.
But I think it's a legit one. It's kind of how I feel it, because she does ask him, hey, what's going on at different points? And then at one point she says, okay, listen, this is my hypothesis. And it's totally right.
Mm-hmm.
But he can't confirm it. But I do think so she goes on a little adventure with these two Starfleet officers.
Because as they're leaving,
Tuvok
turns it out a little bit.
Yes. Well, what happens is Tuvok ruins her computer and destroys her information, and so she chases they dash on her, and she chases them out of the building to say, "Hey, what did you do to my computer? What are you guys doing? What are you guys up to?" And at this point, Henry Starling, whom she had informed, has sent his underling to kill her because she already knows too much.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she really only knows a little tiny portion of what's going on. And Tuvok saves her by using a Starfleet phaser.
Right, there's a big dramatic scene in the observatory, outside of the observatory.
And they jump in her 1970s ice milk pot in this van.
It's a Scooby-Doo van.
It's a Scooby-Doo van.
Mm-hmm.
And they jump in her van and they hightail it out of there. And she goes on an adventure with them. And part of me was saying, this woman in the mid-90s gets in this car with these two men.
Strangers.
With these two strangers. Violent stuff has happened. A part of me wanted to say, why isn't she just running for her life? But then a part of me kind of said, maybe she's getting it. Maybe she knows maybe she understands that she's in danger and these guys saved her.
Well, listen, somebody just shot at them with lasers. So if someone Sterling's henchman Dunbar shoots at them with a laser. I think if someone shoots at you with a laser, the person that protects you in that moment, you're going to go with them. Because you're like, what?
A laser pointer even. I would be like, somebody save me. Really?
Big old man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
I just want to say that, like, while they're in her Scooby-Doo van, Sarah Silverman does say to Paris, "You're cute," in a howdy doody kind of way.
And it is the perfect description of him ever. She says, but this is one of the best days of my life, or something like that. And you're a sexy man, in that howdy doody kind of way. And I was like, go for yours, girl.
Because it's so accurate.
Yeah.
It's super accurate. So there's all kinds of shenanigans going on.
Yes.
You got evil Ed Begley, you got kooky Sarah Silverman. And so I guess Harry asked Neelix and Kes to monitor transmissions.
Yeah, and they get hooked on soap operas.
They're up there watching like 8 TV channels and get hooked on soap operas, which, by the way, I think it's my favorite Neelix and Kes moment ever.
They're both getting into it.
There's something to be said for non-interactive stories like this being swept away in the narrative.
Oh, I can't wait to see if Blaine's twin brother is the father of Jessica's baby.
I just thought it was a cute moment. I did too. And they're just like, and then she's like, at one point, like, I think it's Kim that says, oh, I couldn't get into this type of entertainment. And she says, you're spoiled by the holodeck, but there's something to be said for a narrative that you simply have to watch and get lost in the narrative. And you know what? That's what we do with Voyager.
Because he's like, this is not immersive.
Yeah. It was a cute moment. Now, mind you, while this is all happening, Catherine and Chakotay have been given the clues and the name of Henry Starling. So they break into ChronoWorks, which is the Starling company, and honey, they slip into ChronoWorks like nothing. Like nothing. They get into his office, and Catherine is downloading his database. Even though his files are encrypted, even though she doesn't know how to type, she gets in.
She puts her tricorder next to his computer.
Right.
Yeah, and she's getting all the information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, once again, even though I know that there's storytelling going on, two highly trained Starfleet officers, the captain and the first officer, get snuck up on by this boob from the 20th century.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't put Chakotay by the door and to be watching, but no. And
Tony Braxton. No. I'm sorry, not Tony Braxton. Starling. He interferes. He stops the download from happening. He tells Kim, who's on the communicator, that he's going to kill the captain if he doesn't stop downloading the files.
And they see that behind a screen, a video screen, that he has the time ship.
Right there in that building.
Right.
He has the time ship, and they're trying to upload his files, but then he flips the script and starts downloading their files.
Exactly.
Correct. In doing so, he takes the Doctor, program and all, not a copy of him. He takes the Doctor. Now, mind you,
did that happen before or after? Because somehow, doesn't Janeway and Chakotay get zoomed out, get teleported out?
But it was kind of at the same time. And and I understand why they wouldn't do this now that the Doctor was in the building. Mm-hmm. But I kept on thinking to myself, why doesn't someone, like she does at the she does at the end, because the weapon systems are down, but there was a way to shoot one photon torpedo. Why don't they just torpedo this building and kill
she threatens
everyone?
Him with that.
Because listen, there'd be collateral damage. But this is saving the entire 29th century. Why doesn't she just say, I'm gonna blow this entire building up?
Because then that's when we get into the time paradox. A is B is C is A. Because if she blew up that building with the time ship in it, that time ship could never come back and try to destroy Voyager and end up in that planet in that time frame in the first place, right?
Oh, and also it does turn out that the time ship being found by Starling is really the catalyst for everything that happens afterward, including all technology and Starfleet and everything. And
so he's harvesting 29th century technology and doling it out every few years to make his dollars and and be evil. He's like,
now would you do that?
Hell yeah. Now he's basically he's doing what I think Mark Zuckerberg is probably. Mark Zuckerberg has a fucking time ship somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, that has mind control technology from the future. He's basically giving you like a proto Zuckerberg with shades of Bill Gates, even though Bill Gates is a humanitarian, whatever. But they can't destroy the ship because then you get into the whole time loop paradox nonsense.
Right, and that's that's a real paradox.
Right.
That everything that happens, including the future and the 24th century, does not happen unless Voyager's in the Delta Quadrant and goes back in time with this time ship. So, so anyway, so Harry brings Voyager down into orbit because there's something wrong with the transporters and they need to get closer.
To snatch Janeway.
Janeway and Chakotay. But while this is happening, he steals the Doctor and Voyager is filmed by, those people out there, having picnics and whatever. And I have to say that the shot of Voyager in the Los Angeles sky, I thought was beautiful.
Very well done.
Gorgeous, yeah. Voyager looked beautiful.
That looked beautiful. And the footage supposedly taken at the guy's barbecue with the camcorder, that looked like every news clip you see where someone thinks they saw a UFO.
Yeah.
It looks just like that. So that basically brings part 1 to an end.
Yes.
Starling has kidnapped the Doctor. Janeway and Chakotay are back on Voyager gasping. And Tuvok and Paris have lost contact with their crewmates and are on the run with Sarah Silverman, eating pizza and cracking wise.
The Scooby-Doo crew.
The Scooby-Doo crew.
The Scoobies.
Is this the episode where they're somewhere and they're getting something to eat, and Tuvok comes over with some food, and Sarah Silverman's like, "Yo, Tuvok, what's up?" And he's like, "Breakfast is up."
Agent Tuvok, what's up?
Breakfast is up.
Yeah.
Breakfast is up.
It's like burritos and French fries
and like a double hot dog, blah blah. It's disgusting. But he's like, "Would you please hand me an enchilada?" And so they have her convinced that they're like basically CIA agents or something as a cover.
Spies of some kind.
Right. So people are on the run. Holograms are getting snatched. Janeway's dressed the way that she's dressed, and oops, Voyager got clocked on the evening news, and that's part 1.
And by holograms being snatched, I mean the Doctor is working a high top ponytail.
Yeah.
That I was like, wow, they went there with this episode.
Yes.
Wow, Picardo better work.
And you know
what?
What? I bet you Miss Picardo would work that high snatch ponytail.
Oh God, you know it.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm gonna try to get someone to Photoshop that image. That'd be an amazing image. So people are on the run. The Doctor's been snatched, and boom, that's part 1. Now, part 2 of Future's End, we pick up where we left off.
Exactly where we left off.
Mm-hmm. What's going on? Janeway's pissed. Mm-hmm.
Voyager has been spotted. It's ending up on on the news, but on that TMZ type bullshit. But the government, the U.S. government, has gotten wind of it as well.
Right.
And they're trying to figure out what's happening. Shit's, starting to. Meanwhile, it's starting to hit the fan. Meanwhile, the Scooby-Doo crew isn't getting anywhere.
Although Howdy Doody and Sarah Silverman are bonding over their mutual love of B movies and astronomy.
Movies. And you know what? It's kind of sweet.
Didn't they kind of have chemistry?
Yeah, it's kind of not like I'm going to say I enjoyed Sarah Silverman, but I wouldn't say she turned in a good
Emmy award-winning performance.
Acting performance. Yeah. It's like
it's good for her.
Yeah,
it's good for her.
It's not School of Rock.
It's not School of Rock. What was that
That's
horrible?
a good movie.
What was that horrible cowboy movie that Seth MacFarlane made? I went and saw it, and she's in. Oh, it's terrible.
And Charlize Theron.
It's terrible. What is it called?
Is it a comedy?
It was supposed to be. It was god awful.
I've never heard of that.
Well, Seth had written it too.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Really?
Yeah, but that's totally off topic. So you got Scooby Gang on the run. You've got Janeway and Chakotay back on Voyager with Kim. Neelix and Cass have become addicted to the Days of Our Lives and All My Children.
They're watching telenovelas. They're trapped.
Right. They're gagging.
Now, mind you, there's a very, very dark beat where Starling is trying to get information from the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And Starling actually he tortures the Doctor, he makes it feel like the Doctor's never ever felt pain, so he's able to figure out a way for the Doctor to feel pain, and then sets the Doctor on fire, or makes the Doctor feel like he's on fire. Yeah.
This is what burning feels like. For a human to experience what you're going through right now, he'd have to be on fire.
And it's like, whoa, like that was like a really, really dark
Starling's
moment.
evil.
He's evil. He's actually cruel. Like, at first I thought, oh, he's just a boob, and he's like
he's just a rich man wanting to stay rich.
And wanting to stay rich, and maybe he has no ethics. No, like, that's cruelty and evil.
He's evil. He's sadistic.
He's sadistic. But then, for some reason, so the Scooby crew, the Scooby gang, sets up a trap to get Starling on the outside of his offices, which have force fields. And so Sarah Silverman calls him and convinces him to come and meet her.
At the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion.
At the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. Yes. So right after torturing the Doctor, he gives the Doctor one of the greatest gifts the Doctor receives in the 7 seasons. Somehow, this man has from the 29th century a mobile holographic emitter, and he brings the Doctor with him, thereby now giving the Doctor freeing him, giving him a larger scope and a larger life. This is a very important moment in Voyager history, but also a strange choice to make, especially when you're trying to control a prisoner.
Maybe he brought the Doctor with him as a bargaining chip. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what happens at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion? Clearly, it's the day after the Oscars.
It's the day after the Oscars. Everyone's beat.
And what happens?
Nobody slept. And so Starling wants to get Rain under his control and probably just kill her. And but they set up this trap. Now, mind you, Tom and Tuvok do not know the Doctor now has a hollow emitter. So he comes out of his, little beautiful town car with the Doctor. Sarah Silverman is supposed to lure him into the mystery machine, the Scooby Gang's machine van, and it all goes awry. He instead says, "No, you come with me," and she kind of hesitates, but they go. And there's a big shootout. Voyager is trying to beam Henry Starling out, and there is a melee inside the car. During this melee, they're having trouble beaming him out, but they do grab the signal because B'Elanna and Chakotay have been sent down in a Federation. What do they call those?
It's a shuttlecraft, but they've disguised the signature to be like an airplane from 1996.
Like an airplane. So they're able to get Starling. Therefore, Rain escapes with the Doctor, and they're like, Tuvok and Tom are like, "Oh shit, Doc, what the hell?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm footloose and fancy free."
And he's loving it.
And he's loving
He's like,
it.
"And get into my ponytail."
And get into my high top ponytail, honey.
What? Hairography.
Yes, and they go. Now, mind you, the shuttle is experiencing difficulties. So Voyager grabs the matrix of the transporter matrix of Starling and grabs Starling and brings Starling up to the ship. Unfortunately, B'Elanna and Chakotay crash land not in Los Angeles, way off in Arizona somehow.
Yeah.
It's not that far. Arizona's next to California. So if
honey.
But if they're at a certain altitude and they go off course, it's not that far to crash over.
It's not like New York.
It's not like New York.
Because then later, like in the episode, Catherine's just casually, she's like, "Well, you guys go to Arizona and get." I'm like, "Honey, you got to go from California to Arizona in a car?"
It could take a few hours, but yeah, it's over the state line. I did like the banter between B'Elanna and Chakotay in the shuttle. They're kind of like friendly and a little flirty, but really just old pals. And I thought their chemistry was so great.
They care about each other. And and so they crash land in Arizona, and they are picked up by, who are these people? Are they survivalists? Are they white supremacists?
White supremacists? I get the sense because he's like, this one's an Indian, and this one I don't even know what it is.
Or are they like doomsday preppers, or what the hell?
Yeah, but doomsday preppers.
I think they're like. Do you remember the Bundy Ranch?
Right.
Was it Wyoming? They're definitely like white nationalist, doomsday prepper, white supremacist, underground bunker, fucking lunatics. They're like they'd be like Trump supporters. Yeah.
And then they're Trump supporters. And then when
no shade to the Trump supporters listening to this.
Oh, no shade.
Oh, no shade.
If you're a Trump supporter, please stop listening right now. Don't ever enjoy our content again. We don't want you.
We don't need you.
No, I don't care, bitch. I got standards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
And so but when he says like, oh, this one looks like an Andean, like I got scared for them. Like B'Elanna looks terrified.
Well, she's tied up in a basement, and fucking the cast of Deliverance is like,
and what's up with this one's face?
Yeah,
and like
they have rifles,
really?
and they kick Chakotay in the gut.
And then she kicks one of them so hard he falls on his ass.
Mm-hmm. Don't play with that Klingon.
If she wasn't tied up and they didn't have guns, she would have killed
torn
them limb from limb.
So for some reason, there is this subplot of them being held by the fucking Waco compound folks.
It takes such a dark little turn.
And also, it doesn't really affect the outcome of the story at all.
Oh, it has nothing to do with the story.
Right. But you had to give them something to do, I guess.
Yeah. It's like the C storyline.
It's a C story.
Yeah.
So Ed Begley Jr. gets himself transported off of Voyager.
Somehow gets himself transported, but his assistant does it from the time ship.
And Dunbar, who I thought was kind of hot, actually.
And once again...
What a kind of.
Sort of kind of, right?
And once again, security on Voyager lax.
Right. I can't get a lock.
Yeah. It's like, honey, you can't get a Sandra lock.
Oh, right?
Girl, honey.
So Starling, Ed Begley Jr. Clarice Starling sends Dunbar in a big old truck out into the desert, and the crew of Voyager's like, oh shit, he gonna use the time ship and mess
in the
up
truck.
In the truck, and the Scooby Gang comes up on him on a desert highway.
Just Paris and Rain.
Where's Tuvok? Oh, Tuvok and the doctor
are going to save B'Elanna and Chakotay. And I have to say, the doctor has such a cute, heroic beat.
Mm-hmm.
And like comes in like a superhero.
Yeah.
And not only it is implied, and you hear them from outside, that there are governmental forces outside of this compound as well. So you have governmental forces and this white supremacist group, and just Tuvok and the doctor alone sick everybody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's ass. The doctor comes in, saves the day. Chakotay and B'Elanna are like, what are you doing here? He's like, it's a long story, but I'm free.
Right, I'm free. Gag, yo. I get into my ponytail.
Yes, get into my honey, he kills them with the ponytail.
Yeah, well,
and somehow they fix this down ship in seconds and fly back off to assist Tom and Rain, who are in the desert, supposedly trying to capture the time ship.
Having a car chase.
A good old-fashioned car chase, honey.
And just as Tom shoots the wheel of the truck, hoping that he's disabled it, and the truck makes a U-turn and is about to slam into Tom and Rain, and out of the blue comes Chakotay and in the shuttlecraft with Tuvok and and the team, and they blow up the truck, killing, I guess, Ed Begley Jr.'s assistant.
They killed Dunbar, honey, without a second thought.
Killing him down, and not a second thought, by the way.
None whatsoever. They don't even discuss it.
Yeah.
Even though Chakotay just said to the militia people, "My people don't believe in violence," or something to that.
Right.
Chakotay.
Yes,
and but there's no ship in the truck.
Right. It was a red herring. Not a red herring. It was a.
It was a ruse.
It was a ruse.
It was a trick. Starling tricked them into thinking that's where the time ship was, when really it was still in the ChronoWorks building, and he gets to the ship and blasts out of the building in the ship, which is a great shot. I love that shot. He goes right out, crashing through the windows in the time ship, intent on going to the 29th century to harvest more technology.
Even though he has been warned that this temporal
billions
incursion,
would die.
Billions are going to die. It's such a boneheaded decision, and I think it's his greed not letting him see that they're telling him the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a crazy boneheaded decision.
I think he doesn't even care that I think he may acknowledge that it's the truth and just doesn't care because he's all about the coins.
But he's
all
trying
about
to
the coin.
He's trying to rationalize it by saying, like, I'm helping all these people now. Computers have made, life so much better for so many people. He's just kind of not hearing the part where he's also going to cause the death of billions and destroy the solar system.
Then in a beat that is almost a beat for beat redo of Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, where they go down, where Spock goes down and fiddles with a photon torpedo to try and make it work, because you have to manually shoot it because the systems aren't working. It's totally a callback to that scene. And then once again, who do we send to do this dangerous thing? The most important person on the ship.
Neelix. No,
They send the captain. And
she
the
sends
captain,
herself.
She sends herself. And what I do appreciate is Kim is like, no, this is dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And she just turned on, she's
That's
like,
an order.
That's an order. And oh, okay.
And while you're at it, get me some pecan pie.
Some pecan pie. Here, I'll show you this pecan pie.
Peek at this pie. Puerto Rican pie.
I'll show you this Puerto Rican. I've definitely shown this Puerto Rican pie. For sure.
So she goes down to futz with the torpedoes so they can stop Ed Begley from going into the time rift and causing all this drama. And so at this point, everyone's back on the ship after Paris and Rain have a touching little goodbye in the desert.
Kisses her, don't he?
He does. They do kiss, and her hair blowing all nice.
But you know what? Like, he gives her like a see ya, buddy.
I think he was into her, though.
He was into her, but he doesn't jump on it. Like, he gives her a chaste kiss.
But they were both feeling it.
Absolutely.
And
it's a nice moment.
But part of him was like, I'm a player. I'm gonna get it in every quadrant, in every century. Come for me, okay?
Come for me.
Come for me, darling.
Yes.
Cindy
Lauper does dream drums.
Dream drums. Star Trek Voyager dream drums. I think they should have done it in the desert, like behind a saguaro cactus, real quick.
Like, quick. He's like, yo, quick. Just drop the panty.
Hit it.
Honey, make that ChronoWorks, bitch.
Just move the panty to the side. I got this.
Honey, slide my panty get into my time rift. Okay? Get in. Honey, I'll take you to the 29th century, darling.
And back.
And back, bitch. But so they're all back on Voyager. Sarah Silverman is left in the desert calling her agent for her next gig. Janeway is trying to get the torpedo thing happening. Here goes Ed Begley into the rift.
So the captain is finally able to rig this photon torpedo to work. It takes her a minute because all of the systems are down.
Does she use her gold hair clip?
I believe I think that's that's like the final piece.
Catalyst.
And and Chakotay, being the humanitarian that he is, gives him a final warning. He's like, don't do this, da-da-da-da-da. And Egg Begley Jr. is like, no,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I was in She-Devil with Roseanne and Meryl Streep. I don't think so.
Exactly. And so they, it finally gets ready. They shoot off that torpedo, injuring the captain in the process, but the doctor's headed down toward her, and the torpedo speeds toward the time rift and blows up Egg Begley's ship. But I like Egg Begley's reaction real quick. His last thing, he's like, oh no. Like, dude, you didn't think they were going to try and shoot you down?
Right.
Mother. Yep. And they destroy his ship. It closes the rift.
Not quite.
Not quite. That's right.
What comes out of the rift?
So then, go on. Who?
Tamar
Braxton shows up in the rift. Kitty cat, what are you doing? Sorry, my cat's on the table. Come here, you. Let's
She's
take.
like, give me one good reason. Oh.
Close the rift. Oh, so
Tamar.
this is my little she devil, aren't you?
Yes.
So Tony Braxton comes back out of the rift.
Captain Braxton.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Captain Braxton comes out of the rift, and he's like, "Who are you? What?"
Hey.
And he's brand new, which means that paradox, Voyager was able to close down, and he has no memory of the disaster in the 29th century,
of even meeting them,
or ever being trapped on Earth.
Right.
And he says, "I did not experience that timeline. I'm here because we noticed that you're here. I'm taking you back to your original time and the original place."
Right. Janeway's like, well, the time thing sounds good, but can you just like drop us off in California?
Leave us here?
Again? Right.
But he's like,
nope.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
And so he goes back to the 29th century and sends them back to where they started. It's a total reset. They're back in the Delta
24th
Quadrant
century?
in the 24th century,
24th century,
right where they started the episode with her and her tennis racket thing.
Right.
But they do remember.
Oh, they remember everything.
They remember, yeah. And this is not the only time that they are going to run afoul of the Temporal Prime Directive and that particular time shift.
Tony Braxton makes another appearance down the road.
Yes.
Does she?
Yes.
Yep.
However, it leaves the time travel episodes of Star Trek. I love them, but they always leave questions. So in the sequence of events, so Braxton never crashed, so there was never homeless Braxton. Hippie Starling never found the time ship. Okay.
So
Does
he
that
never
mean,
get rich?
did the computer revolution not happen?
Then what caused the computer revolution?
Somebody else found the ship.
The
ship never crashed.
happened.
Just the ingenuity of man.
In the same exact amount of time?
Yeah.
Right. And also, how was Tuvok's enchilada? Did he enjoy it?
I think he did, because he's the one that goes to buy the food. Yeah.
Right. He went and got some meaty foods, bitch.
He got complete fast food. Greasy fast food.
Breakfast is up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed this episode. And Matinga, like you said before, when you watch both parts, it is sort of like a mini movie.
Yeah, it felt like a little mini movie.
Probably the closest to a Voyager movie that was ever going to happen.
Yeah, that we'll ever get at this point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other two-parters?
Yes.
I think that there are.
For sure. Some good ones.
Sure. Some good ones.
So on a scale of 1 to 5 fire Chakotays, should we do this in 2 separate parts or just 1 overall?
I would do 1 overall.
1 overall.
I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 fire Chakotays. It was problematic and plot holes sloppy, but the scenes of them in 1996 just made me kiki, and it was fun seeing Sarah Silverman and Ed Begley on these episodes.
Yeah, solid, not among the greatest, but I definitely enjoyed it. I'm going to give it 3 solid Leola.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to also give it 3 solid fire Chakotays.
Mm-hmm.
I love the LA scenes,
Me too.
and that's about it.
They felt like they were working as a crew.
Right.
Yeah.
The cast seemed very relaxed and like maybe they were into being on location.
Right.
Well, you know what? The shooting Star Trek, and I've heard this in stories about every Star Trek actor, you're set bound. Mm-hmm. Because it happens in outer space. Rarely, like 90% of the time you're on a set for years on end. You're like, it's like working in a submarine. Mm-hmm. So the actors have said, like, when they can go to Vasquez Rocks, when they can go to a different location that's actually outside in the fresh air, they dig it. Because they're just always set bound. It's like a fun day for them.
Right. And hey, they filmed at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, Santa Monica Pier. They made use of LA.
They made good use of LA.
Yeah, and it was a fun episode and a solid season 3 outing. Now, listeners and or viewers, if you are enjoying the content that we are giving you from the 29th century, feel free to hit us up on Patreon or Venmo. We are Workshop, WERQSHOP. That is Workshop on Patreon and Venmo. All right, Booby, you wrap it up.
No.
Yeah,
Matinga, wrap it up.
Matinga, wrap it up, girl. As all your dates tell you.
How many?
Wrap it up.
Exactly. So thanks again for coming to yet another edition of Fire Chakotay. This is Miss Matinga. Miss Tinga, if you are nasty.
This is Shadiamond.
And this is Booby. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hope you had a good time. Da-da.
Is there another Tony Braxton? Breathe again. Breathe again. That's my favorite Tony Braxton jam.
That
It's
one's a
just
little problematic right now.
The reggae mix?
I love the breathe. Yes.
Why is it problematic?
Why is it problematic?
That's the question.
Oh,
Yes.
girl, come on.
Honey, some people don't get to breathe again.
I can't believe you are bringing that. I want you to find me one example where someone says that Tony Braxton's Breathe Again is problematic.
He's anti-life.
I'm just saying, there's a cancel culture out there. We must be careful.
I'm about to cancel you, girl. All right, well, this has been another episode of Fire Chakotay. I am Tamar Braxton. I mean, Mike Diamond.
This is Miss Matinga. Miss Tinga, if you are nasty.
And this is Boo. B if you're nasty.